What's up, everyone? So what I'm going to show you today is if you have the PV3 and you have a second bike, okay, and you would like to be able to tune that bike, you are going to need what dynojet considers a token, or a PVTC1. Okay, so that's what you need. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to asp.net storefront.dynojet.com. Okay, and the link will be in the description below the video, and I will try to put it up on the screen here so you guys can see it. Now, obviously, it shows a different screen than what you're going to see when you first go on here. You're going to have to create a licensing account on their PowerVision website. Okay, so you're going to need to create a licensing account, and then you're going to need to log in, and then you're going to come up with this option that says PowerVision Tuning License. So this right here, it says PowerVision Tuning License. Okay, you're going to click on that. Okay, and there you can see it right there, PowerVision Tuning License. One license is $199. Okay, or you can buy 5 for $9.95. There is no discount between the two. Okay, $9.95. $199. Okay, so once you buy your token, so when you go to add to cart, you're going to view your cart and you're going to purchase that and check out. Now, because you're signed in, it is going to buy a token. You do not need a token for the vehicle that the PV3 is married to. Okay, so after you purchase your token, you're going to sign out of there, and then you're going to open the dynojet Power Core software. Okay. Okay, so now that you got your Power Core software opened, you're going to click on C3. So you're going to open the C3 tuning software. Okay, C3 tuning software is open. Now let's see if you can see that up here. You're going to click over here where it says Tools. So right up here on these tabs, you're going to click on Tools. You're going to click on PowerVision License. And then you're going to click on New Devices. And then you are signed in. It's already going to sign you in. Okay, now once you are signed in, you should see here available tokens right here. And it's going to show the tokens that you bought. Okay, so earlier I got 2 tokens, and you can see here existing licenses. It's going to show you existing license files. Those are the files for the bikes that are licensed and paired. Okay, so this next step, you want to go to Load PV Info. Okay, but before you can do that, what you need to do is you need to go plug the PowerVision 3 after it is married to your device. Or to your bike, you need to plug the PowerVision 3 into the second bike. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to create a TXT info file on the PV3. Okay, so I will show you what that looks like after you have plugged it into a second bike. It's a step that you need to do, and you can do this beforehand. So what we're going to do is we're going to click off this, and we're going to minimize this. Okay, so I do have a file here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your PowerVision 3. Okay, you take your PowerVision 3 device. You are going to plug it into the diagnostics port on the second bike, and it's going to load up. So once it loads up, when you plugged into the new bike, you'll probably get this screen. You're going to hit the main button there, and you're going to go to Flash Tune, and then you are going to grab one of the STK files. So you're going to grab a stock file. So you can use that one right there that says 001. there's going to be a stock file. You're going to click on it, and it's going to say press start to flash ECU. You're going to press that. It should flash that stock tune to the bike. Okay, and that is basically the same tune that is already on your bike from the factory. Okay, once it has done that, it'll say tune successful. Okay, now, and it'll tell you to turn the key to reset the ECU. Okay, so you can turn the key back on. This should come back on to this screen. Now keep in mind, none of these are going to work. These gauges are not going to work on the stock tune. Okay, so that's all you need to do. So basically what you just did is you put a STK file on the bike. It's already on the bike, obviously, but this makes it so now the PV3 can talk back and forth with it. And that is what created a TXT info file and loaded it onto the PV3. Okay? So now you can turn the key off and unplug the PV3 from the bike. Okay, so now you are going to come back to your computer and we're going to plug in the PV3. And now I have this little demo folder here that I made. Okay, so when you do plug your PV3 in, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see all the stock files and all of the dynojet, the PowerVision CX tune files. Okay, you're going to see all those, and you're going to see this new file that says PV info. Okay, it regenerates that PV info file every time you plug it into a bike, any bike. It's going to generate a PV info file, and that PV info file, when you open it, you can scroll down, and it's going to show you all kinds of information about that bike. Okay, so now what we want to do is we need that PV info file. So we want to remember where this is at. If you're dragging this, you should make a copy of this. So make a copy of it, drag it onto a folder on your computer. Okay, so now we're going to go back down here. Now that we have that PV info file, now we're going to go back to our licensing. So new devices. Okay, it's going to log in. Okay, so it's asking VIN number, tune compatibility, and the ECU ID. So what we're going to do is we're going to go load PV file. Okay, and it's going to ask us if we want to search for it. We know that it is on our desktop, and it is called demo use only, PV info. Okay, so you can see there, PV info is loaded. So now that we have that, we're going to go create license. Okay, and obviously I don't have any tokens, but it will recreate the license since we already have the license for this bike. And you're going to get this warning, PVCX tune licenses are not currently supported. Ignore that. It'll go right past it. I'm going to report that to dynojet and let them know it comes up with that message. But just hit OK. And then it says, you are about to create a new license. This operation will require one token. Once a token has been redeemed, the action cannot be undone. If your account already has a license for this vehicle, it will be downloaded, but you will not be charged another token. Create license for VIN number, and then it shows the VIN number and all the information. So we already have a license. We're not going to be charged. We're not going to waste a token. We're going to hit OK. And it's going to do the same thing, but for you, that buying one, it would take a token. So now it's going to ask us, where do we want to store that? Well, we want to store it on that license. So we'll just go demo, and we'll save that. License saved under the demo use only file. Okay, so now we have our license taken care of. So now we can go to our demo file and demo use only, and you'll see here you now have a demo license. Okay, so you can save that. You want to save a copy of that to your computer, but you can always get another copy by going through that same process I just did. Okay, and then you're going to drop and drag just as if the PV3 was a USB drive. You're going to plug it into the laptop, and you're going to grab this and you're going to drop and drag it over to there. Okay, so take your copy of it, put it onto the PV3, not in a folder or anything, just in the main folder of the PV3. You're going to put it on there. Now, when you plug in the bike, it's going to recognize the PV info file, is going to recognize the demo license, and it's going to say, or your license, whatever you name it, it's going to recognize that, and you are now going to be eligible to add a tune on there, whether that be a stock file or a PVCX file, whatever you want to do. Now, the other option that you can do with the C3 software is building a custom map and naming it. Okay, so if we go to home, and I'm not going to get into details, I will do a detailed video on how to build a map for something like a big bore kit and whatnot. I mean, that's what I had to do with my bike. Okay, so if we open it, we now have that bike is called the Red Rocket. Okay, so what I did to get that tune is we're going to go back to our desktop, and we're going to go back to our demo and demo use only. Okay, and we will grab one of the PVCX tune files. Okay, so we'll grab this number 4, and I know from experience already that number 4 is with a tune set up for an intake and exhaust. I believe that is the Yoshimura exhaust. Okay, so we'll double click on that. Now we're going to open that. Okay, so now it is open, and you can go to Tune Info, which is right here at the top, over in this graph, or over in this column here. Tune Info, Honda GROM, Yoshimura full exhaust. That number right there, 01025705001, that is the adaptability file. That is, represents the Honda GROM SF. Okay, Yoshimura full exhaust, short ram air intake, rev limiter set to plus 450. I can put my tuner name in there, so I'll put Bill. We'll put Bill Ramseyer, that is my name. Okay, we'll put Bill Ramseyer in there as a tuner. And then we can go through, we can add whatever we want into the notes, and these notes will show up on the PV3. Okay, so we'll go done with the info. And now we can go down here to all of our different adjustments. So say if you would like to adjust your O2 voltage threshold, this is what's going to get you your air to fuel ratio. So it's set at 0.605. That is going to be right between, I believe, 13.8 and 14.7, right in there is what that's set up for. You can turn that down, so if you take some voltage away, you'll be setting it more towards, like if you ran it at, I believe, 0.58, you're running more along the lines of 13.2, somewhere in there. Okay, and like I said, I will make a video on how to build a map, but what I want to show you right now is how to, once you're coming from your custom map that you're making or you're working on, okay, you can grab any of those maps that are already on the PV3, okay, and now we can go to Save As, okay, Save As, and we'll go back to our desktop, and we're going to go back to our demo, which we're pretending like that is the PV3 plugged in, okay, our demo, and we will name it Red Rocket Tune. Okay, so we just changed the name of it, Red Rocket Tune. We're gonna go save, and then it's telling you, hey, you have the option to take notes. Do you want to take any more notes? Well, we already wrote them all down. We already got all of our notes, so we're just gonna hit OK, and it's gonna, if there's not a stock file in there, it's gonna come up with a message saying there's not a stock file. Would you like to create a stock file? You need to say yes and create a stock file in that same location. So in that same folder, there needs to be a stock file. Just hit yes. Okay? That way you can always come back and compare files to stock files. Okay? And you can compare simply by going up here, right click, compare to stock. Okay? And you can always go, so if we go to any perimeter here, so this is your pulse width fast idle, you can right click on that and go restore to stock, or you can right click up here and go compare to stock, and it's going to load up the stock file and show you what that looks like stock. Okay, and then you can bounce between the two in comparison. The comparison is going to show you the values that you changed. So if we would have added 1 to this tune file, if we would have added 1, so it says 4.664, if we would have made it so it says 4.665, on our comparison, it would say 0.001. Means we changed it by 1. And then you have the stock file that you can look at. Okay, so we've saved our file, right? So we're going to exit off of the C3 software. Okay, so now our file, you can put it in a folder, but we're saying this is the PV3, and we have already added it to the PV3. You can see here, Red Rocket Tune. We've added it to the PV3, and we have our info file is still there, and that's fine. If you remove it, it'll just create a new one. And it's always going to save the vehicle that's licensed to it also, or they're married to it. Okay, and then we have the demo license that we put on there. Okay, so if you were going to tune 5 bikes, all those licenses can just stay on here. And you can plug in from one bike to the other, and load tunes all day. Okay, so we're going to exit off that. And then I will plug in the PV3 and show you what it looks like right here on the computer screen. Okay, so I have the PV3 here. I'm going to plug that in. Okay, PV3 is plugged in. There you go, dynojet. Folder should open automatically. If not, just find it. It's going to look like a USB folder. So you can see here mine's PowerVision F is where it's located, the F drive. Okay, so this is actually my PowerVision 3. And as you can see, it has and this type of file right here is an update file. It did need an update. So we have a PV info file. Okay, that's going to be created from the last bike that was plugged in. It's going to overwrite every time. Okay, and then we have our Red Rocket tuning license. And then this is my daughter's bike, the Stinky Pinky tuning license. So we have tuning licenses for 3 bikes. We have the one that's married to, which is mine. And then their 2 bikes. And then we have tunes that we made for them. So you have a Stinky Pinky tune and a Red Rocket tune. Okay. So if we exit off of here, it's probably going to come back up. But now we can go through and we hit the big button and flash ECU. And you will see here, Red Rocket Tune DJT. That's a dynojet tune file. And then we keep scrolling up. We have the Stinky Pinky DJT. That's another dynojet tune file. And then we have the Gromzilla 181 Big Bore Kit file. And that is my bike. Okay. So there you go. I will let you take a look at it as we are transferring this Red Rocket tune file over onto the bike. And I will let you take a look at this. If you click enter, right, it gives you the file. It's going to come up in the background if it's plugged into your computer. Okay, but now you can see here, Red Rocket Tune, DJT, tuner, Bill Ramseyer, the compat, that's what I was talking about, that compat file, that's the compatibility. That is, this number represents the 2018 Honda GROM. So that means it's compatible with that. Description, Honda GROM, and you can change that as well. And then you do have that compatibility number. So as you can see here, stock exhaust. These are the modifications that are done to the Red Rocket's bike. Stock exhaust, Chimera short ram air intake, Takigawa S-type camshaft. Rev limiter is turned up to plus 550, so it's turned up 550 RPMs above stock, which I believe is 9,200. So this will be 9750 right in there. Okay, air to fuel ratio set at 13.5. And we have advanced ignition timing, 2.14 and 2.15 advanced. Okay, so 2.14 degrees of advanced ignition timing. Okay, so that is everything that is done to that. Those are the notes that you see me creating on the C3 software. They do show up right here, and they are scrollable. So you can create a pretty big page and be able to scroll right on through it, letting you know all your notes. Okay, so that is what the tune is that we are going to be putting on that bike. And you can read your notes and you know exactly what you're getting. Okay, so now let's go take a look at it on the bike. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will be doing a big giveaway. Dynojet is sending me out a stack of decals to give away. I'll be giving those away here in the next few days, hopefully right before Christmas time. So if you want yourself a Dynojet decal, make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell icon. I'll let you take a look at us installing this, and then hopefully we'll get Red Rocket to pull some wheelies for us. Let's go check it out. Okay, so now that we have our file, our tune file and our licensing file over onto the PowerVision 3, you can see here I have this red bike here. This is my son-in-law's bike. This is the Red Rocket. So now we're going to take and tune it with our Red Rocket file. So we're going to plug this into the diagnostics port here. Okay, then we're going to turn the key. Okay, key is on. And now that we've moved both files over to here, we should see that we are able to flash it. So we'll go right here. We got our Red Rocket file. Okay, and then you can see here's the info that we put on the Red Rocket file. So all the info for his bike. So stock exhaust, Chimera short ram air intake, Takegawa S-type camshaft. Rev limit is at plus 550. Our air to fuel ratio is set at 13.5. And then we have added 2.14 and 2.15 ignition timing. So we've advanced the ignition timing. Okay, so press start to flash. Flash ECU with selected tune file. There you go. It automatically found the licensing for it, and it no longer came up with the message saying we don't have a license. Okay, so now we'll sit here and let it tune. And then we will have the Red Rocket take a little test drive and launch and see how it does. It's going to be nice having a new rev limiter. But I can't fix your blinker. Okay, we're at 35%. So instead of fast forwarding through any of this, I'm going to let you guys see the process. So this is actually what it takes in real time. Okay, now so the bike is going to end up running a little bit richer than stock, so it's getting a little bit better fuel. We're not starving the engine for fuel. And then later on down the road, when you add some exhaust and whatnot, we can make our adjustments. We can always come back and readjust this tune and then throw it right back on here to the PV3. It's at 91%. Okay, flash successful. Turn key off to allow ECU to reset. Okay, so now we'll check the not sure why, but there you can see all the gauges, everything working. On the stock tune, these gauges will not work. Okay, so everything looks correct. So this is how you would, if you had a second bike and you wanted to flash a tune to it and it's already been married to your bike, this video is simply to show how you would get a tune over to a second vehicle. Okay, so thanks for watching. We'll see some, let you guys check out some wheelies from the Red Rocket here. Have a good day. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you.